Hello to everybody joining us today for the quarterly Board of Directors meeting for the SCA. I am Jonathan Foster. I am currently the Director for Seat C and I'm serving as your Chairman. I am the Ombudsman for the Society President, Society Seneschal, the Corporate Office, the Financial Officers, and the Executive Assistant. And we will do some introductions. Louise.
Oh, I'm not usually first. Hello, everyone. I am your Vice President for Corporate Operations, Louise Ducre, out here in sunny West Kingdom, California.
Krista.
Good morning. My name is Krista Capps. I'm the Director for Seat A. I am the Ombudsman for Aidenvelt, Middle Meridies, Atlantia, and Board Recruiting, and I am also out here in sunny West Kingdom, California.
Kate.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kate Poore. I'm the Director for Seat E, and I'm the Ombudsman for Trimaris, Ethelmark, Glen Aubin, Inclusive Programming, and Heralds, and I live in the Kingdom of the Outlands.
Joan.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Joan Stoyer. I'm the Director for Seat D, which is Avakal, Drachenwald, Eldermere, and Lockhart. In the SCA, I am Rhianwen from the Kingdom of Callantyre.
Keith.
Hi, my name is Keith Howard. I am the Director for Seat F. I'm the Ombudsman for Antir, Artemisia, Caid, the West, and the Marshallet. In the Society, I'm known as Hengist Haywardison, and I am in the Mid-Realm.
Megan.
Hello, all. I am Megan O'Shea. I'm the Vice Chair of the Board. I also am on Seat B. I am the Ombudsman for Omstiora, Callantyre, the East Kingdom, Arts and Sciences, and Publications. And I'm out here in Athelmark in the SCA. I'm known as Sumaya Al-Ghazaya.
Carl.
Carl Chipman, Ombudsman for Director CG, Ombudsman for North Shield, Outlands, IT, and the Shadowlands. I am in Stillwater, Oklahoma, right smack dab in the middle of the country, just south of Joan.
Aaron.
Hello, I am Erin Potter-Teen. I am the Society Exchequer. In Society, I'm known as Katalina Ivania Zhenishishova, and I reside in the middle.
Leslie.
Well, hi, I'm Leslie Luther Fulton. I am the Executive Assistant to the Board. In the SCA, I am Jane Fallada of Inglewood from the sunny lands of Memphis, Tennessee, which is Glen Aubin.
Jason.
Hi, everybody. I am Jason, also known as Baldrick. I am the Director-elect for Seat A. I don't know what that means yet because I got elected last night, but I'm here and I'm from the Kingdom of Eldermere.
Welcome aboard. Carolyn.
Hi, I am Carolyn Richardson. I am the Corporate Treasurer, and in the SCA, I am known as Tachibet of Green Lake. And I live in Caid.
Sarah.
Hello, all. I am Sarah Chapman, Society Communications Officer, reporting to the Office of the President. In this society, I'm known as Sarah the Bountiful and reside in the Middle Kingdom.
Stacy.
Hello, everyone. I am Stacy Hall. I am your Society Seneschal. In the SCA, I have a long, complicated Gaelic name, so just call me Gwen. and I reside in humid and moody today, Meridies.
Melissa?
Hello, I am Melissa Midzer. I am your Society Marshal. In the SCA, I am known as Arabella de Siena, and I live in the Outlands.
Catherine?
Hold on. You caught me mid-sandwich. Sorry. Hi, I'm Catherine Nikolic. In the SCA, I am Duchess Thorkatla Hoyopsdottir. I am the Society ANS, and I live in the equally humid and moody Kingdom of Meridies in the Georgia, Atlanta area.
Uni?
Good evening. I'm Unni Leino, the Society Herald, calling in from southern Finland. So 10 hours ahead of the official time here. Greetings from the future. In the Society, I'm Birgitta Lulli, Laurel Queen of Arms, living in northeastern Drachenwald.
Evan?
Hi, this is Evan Kurtzman. In the Society, I am Brock Balderden and reside in Caid, and I'm in-house counsel for the SCA.
Roxy?
Hi, I'm Roxy Elliott, known in the Society as Castellana de Andalucia. I am your Society DEIB officer, and I live just north of Oklahoma City, Principality of Windham, Kingdom of Onstiora.
Andrew?
Hello, I am Andrew Harness, the Society Chatelaine. In the Society, I am known as Otter Surtson, and I am from Callantyr.
And Travis?
Hello, I am Travis Schenk. I am the Society Archivist. I am from Artemisia, which is very hot lately. And in the Society, I am known as Ramon de Javier. And it's great to see you all.
I would like to welcome our interpreters. If you do require their assistance to follow along, you can pin them to your window so that they don't shuffle around as we go through the meeting. Thank you very much for your assistance today. And with that, I think I have gotten to everybody. So the floor is open. Krista?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we open the July 19th meeting of the Board of Directors for the Society of Creative Anachronism and accept the agenda and take items out of order as necessary.
That is a motion by Krista and a second by Kate. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, vote in favor. Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The meeting is open. Approval of minutes. Leslie?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to present the April 25th, 2026 quarterly meeting minutes, the May 18th, 2026 conference call minutes, and the June 22nd, 2026 conference call minutes for your approval in toto.
Joan?
I was just going to ask, do we need to approve the agenda?
It was approved.
It was approved. I apologize. I'm sorry. I was multitasking.
Are there any questions regarding the minutes? If not, the floor is open. Megan.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the April 25th, 2026 quarterly meeting minutes, the May 18th, 2026 conference call minutes, and the June 22nd, 2026 conference call minutes.
That's a motion from Megan and a second by Kate. Is there any discussion for the motion? Seeing none, votes in favor? Any opposed? Kate can't vote twice. That is 6 in favor, none opposed. That motion carries.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
May I take just a moment to thank Director Howard? I was unable to attend the April quarterly meeting, and he was kind enough to handle the minutes at that meeting, and it's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. We move on now to reoccurring business 3A, status changes. Stacy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I will try to speak up. Thank you for those who told me there was an issue. Status changes, group status changes requiring board action is a dissolution. Item A is in Glenallen, the Shire of Pilgrims Fount in Hot Springs, Arkansas. They have not been active since the spring of 2024, and the Kingdom Seneschal has respectfully requested that they be formally dissolved.
Joan?
Mr. Chair, I move that that Pilgrim's Fount in the Kingdom of Glenallen be dissolved as requested by the Society Seneschal.
There's a motion by Joan and a second by Kate. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Votes opposed? Joan, are you abstaining?
I forgot to vote in favor. I'm sorry.
Okay. That is 6 in favor, none opposed. That motion carries.
Thank
Weekends
you,
are hard,
Director.
y'all.
I know.
Especially-
No, I know. Yeah, I'm
especially
sorry.
when you travel for work. Moving on to item B, this is in Caid, the Canton of Gallivally, which is in the Wildemar and Lake Elsinore areas of California. There has been no activity, and the Shire is requesting dissolution through their Kingdom Seneschal.
Kate?
Mr. Chair, I move for the Canton of Gallivally to be in the Kingdom of Caid to be dissolved as requested by the Society Seneschal.
Motion by Kate and a second by Keith. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Moving on to item C in the Kingdom of Ethelmark, the Shire of Port Oasis in Huntington, West Virginia, is requesting dissolution in order to become part of the Barony of Blackstone Mountain, which is in the Charleston, West Virginia and surrounding areas. The request came through the Kingdom Seneschal.
Kate?
Mr. Chair, I move for the Shire of Port Oasis in the Kingdom of Ethelmark to be dissolved as requested by the Society Seneschal.
Keith, was that a second? I didn't catch it. Yep, okay. That is a motion by Kate and a second from Keith. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you, directors. Moving along to item D, in the Kingdom of the East, the Canton of Midland Vale, which is Orange and Sullivan counties in New York, is requesting dissolution in order to petition the kingdom for hamlet status. with the local barony of Usgard agreeing to be their sponsor.
Joan,
Mr. Chair, I move that that the Canton of Midland Vale and the Kingdom of the East be dissolved as requested by the Society Seneschal.
a motion from Joan and a second by Krista. Any discussion? Votes in favor. Any opposed? 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you, directors. Mr. Chair, I would like to make a comment that the rest of this list comes from the East Kingdom and want to assure everyone that the East Kingdom is not, in fact, on fire at the moment. These are branches that were previously dormant and did not officially dissolve. This is the East Kingdom Seneschal asking for formal dissolution through the board so that they may clean up their tally in their books. Moving on to item E in the East Kingdom, the Canton.
Stacy, hold just a minute. Keith?
A quick question, a quick parliamentary question, I guess, considering that they're all from the East and they are all dormant, can we do them in toto or do we have to do them individually?
It is my understanding they have to be done individually, but I defer to the executive assistant.
But they need to be done individually.
Thank you.
So I will try to be quick on these. East Kingdom, Canton of Black Eichhorn in Media, Pennsylvania.
Joan?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Canton of Black Eichhorn in the Kingdom of the East be dissolved as requested by the Society Seneschal.
Motion by Joan and a second by Kate. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That's 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Continuing with East, the Shire of La Selle d'Or in northern Quebec.
Kate?
My French is going to be bad. I apologize. Mr. Chair, I move that the Shire of La Selle d'Or be dissolved in the Kingdom of the East be dissolved as presented by the Society Seneschal.
So motion from Kate and a second by Megan. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Item G, still in the East Kingdom, the Canton of Forest Gate in Mercer County, New Jersey, at the request of the Kingdom Seneschal for dissolution.
Kate?
Mr. Chair, I move that the Shire or the Canton of Forest Gate in the Kingdom of the East be dissolved as presented by the Society Seneschal.
It's a motion from Kate and a second by Krista. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Still in the East, the Shire of R. Inalina in Newfoundland and Labrador, requesting dissolution through the Kingdom Seneschal.
Kate?
Mr. Chair, I move for the Shire of Arundelian in the Kingdom of the East to be dissolved as requested by the Society Seneschal.
It's a motion from Kate and a second by Megan. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Still in the East, the Shire of Coiltour, which is southern Ulster and northern Orange counties in New York, requesting dissolution through the Kingdom Seneschal for lack of activity.
Megan?
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept, that we accept the dissolution of the Shire of Coil Tour in the Kingdom of the East as requested by the Society Seneschal.
Is there a second? Second from Director Keith Howard. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Requested dissolution for the stronghold of Ravensdale in Nova Scotia.
Kate,
Mr. Chair, I move that the stronghold of Ravensdale in the Kingdom of the East be dissolved as requested by the Society Seneschal.
it's a motion by Kate and a second by Krista. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Canton of Keep by the Endless Sea. I think I skipped one. I beg your pardon. That would be the Canton of Windrich in central Maine in the East Kingdom, requesting dissolution.
Kate,
Mr. Chair, I move that the Canton of Windrich in the Kingdom of the East be dissolved as requested by the Society Seneschal.
it's a motion by Kate and a second by Krista. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Now we move on to the Canton of Keep by the Endless Sea, which is coastal Monmouth and northern coastal Ocean counties, New Jersey, requesting dissolution through the Kingdom Seneschal.
Kate,
Mr. Chair, I move that the Canton of Keep by the Endless Sea in the Kingdom of the East be dissolved by as requested by the Society Seneschal.
it's a motion from Kate and a second by Krista. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
And finally, the Canton of Broken Bridge, which is Brooklyn, New York, at the request of the Kingdom Seneschal due to inactivity and dormancy for more than 2 years for dissolution.
Kate,
Mr. Chair, I move that the Canton of Broken Bridge in the Kingdom of the East be dissolved as requested by the Society Seneschal.
it's a motion by Kate and a second by Megan. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you, directors. Mr. Chair, shall I move on?
Please.
For item 2 under 3B, we do have some good news. There are new branches that are here to be taken note of. And on Tier, the Shire of the Four Rivers in Eastern Oregon has been recognized as a full status shire. And also in on Tier, the Canton of Misty Ridge, which is Port Angeles, Clallam, and Jefferson counties, Washington, the Barony of Dragon's Lair has been recognized as a full status canton. Congratulations to on Tier.
By consensus and without objection, so noted.
Moving along to 3B3, we have 2 new hamlets. As of the last quarterly meeting, these 2 branches had requested dissolution for petitioning the kingdom for hamlet status. Those petitions have been successful. In the Kingdom of Ansteora, we now have the hamlet of Wildwood in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, sponsored by the Barony of North Keep. And in the West Kingdom, the hamlet of Cair Darth in Santa Cruz, California, sponsored by the Barony of Dartmouth. So welcome to our new hands.
By consensus and without objection, so noted.
Thank you, directors.
Item 3C, the quarterly meeting schedule. Louise.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just listening to all the beautiful names of all the groups and sort of got lulled into let me pull this up. All right, for the last quarterly meeting of this year, as already announced, we will be in Sacramento, California, Saturday, October 17th. And then the next slate of meetings for 2027, for confirmation, we've got a fully virtual meeting Sunday, January 30th. Do you want me to list them all, or should we approve them one by one?
I don't think we need to approve them. Leslie?
You can just go ahead and announce them. My understanding was these were approved yesterday.
Okay, got it. And just for anybody listening, we do actually discuss these and talk about these yesterday. So I don't just tell the board where to go and then they go there, although that would be kind of fun. So speaking of which, for the Q2 meeting, which will be an in-person hybrid meeting, it will be taking place Saturday, April 24th in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the Sylvan Kingdom of Ithelmark. Q3 will again be a virtual meeting Sunday, July 18th, essentially this same weekend next year, a little bit earlier in the month to ensure that everybody has time to prep for Pensic. And the last meeting of the year will be Saturday, October 23rd in Northshield in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Thank you. And we'll move to, yep, go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's my show for a sec. All corporate officers being invited, and then the next quarter's conference call meetings have been scheduled for Monday, August 24th and Monday, September 21st. Be there or be square.
Thank you. Item 3D, bank account authorizations.
Yeah, this is just your quarterly approval of all bank authorizations. Aaron and all of the exchequers have been working really hard against a whole slew of banking enemies. But yes, please note that they are all in process and everybody's as happy as possible.
Thank you. Item 3E, warrants. Leslie.
Mr. Chairman, all warrants that I have received at this point that were not in question up through yesterday have been executed and distributed to the officers. There are a number of deputy positions that will be listed during exec, but they are all in the works. I do have, excuse me, I do have 2 warrants yet that I had to have approval on yesterday for our archivist and his deputy that are being renewed, and those will go out this week.
Thank you. Item 3F, ongoing projects. Board recruiting. Krista.
Had to unmute. Give me a second. So board recruiting is going along very, very well. As if you were here early enough to get everybody's introductions, we do have a new board director-elect, Jason Roach, who is joining us from Eldermere, and we are very, very glad to have him here. But we're always looking for new nominations. So if you or somebody you know would like to be on the board, or if you have a recommendation of somebody who you think would be on the board or do good work on the board, we're always looking for folks with skills that we don't currently have represented on the board, things like project management, experience with law, finance, human resources, things like that. So yeah, you can send those recommendations into recruiting@sca.org, and I hope to see a larger list of nominations than we have right now.
Thank you. Item 3F2, board representation. Leslie.
Okay, Mr. Chairman. Well, as Louise already noted, we have several hybrid meetings coming up in the future in Sacramento, Pittsburgh, correct, and Minneapolis, I believe. And then the board will also be holding celebrations at Penzic. And I think maybe that might be better for somebody else to go into. I believe Director Poor has the bulk of the information on that, so I'm going to defer to her.
Thank you, Leslie. So for all those who are attending Penzic in the next couple of weeks, the board is hosting a 60-year celebration as the SCA is now in its 61st year. It's going to be Tuesday evening of War Week at the Fort starting at 6 p.m. We're going to have musicians and jugglers and entertainment aplenty. We will also have a couple of medieval games, Hunkerhausen and Coup to be specific. And there's also one extra spicy advantage of going to this party. We, as directors, are doing a Hot Ones challenge. So come and challenge us to eat a spicy wing. They're going to be tiered in pricing. You could please donate. The money will be, I think we confirmed that this will help. That yes, there will be definitely tiers, as Louise suggested. Any money raised will be going to the new learning management system that the board is hoping to present to the society in the coming months. Maybe, unless I'm missing something, our society president, Director Bao, or not director, not a director, President Bao Pham, who unfortunately could not make it, is my co-conspirator in this adventure. So come out and come celebrate the SCA, and looking forward to see many of your amazing faces.
Thank you. That brings us to section 4, old business. Item A, amendments to corpora. Stacy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have requested board action under old business for a proposed amendment to corpora 4C1 and additions to XB to address confidentiality and royals. The purpose behind this request was to address a gap in corpora regarding confidentiality, expectations for officers, and while royals are defined as officers within the glossary of corpora, they are neither warranted nor governed by a board-approved handbook that explicitly outlines confidentiality obligations. In their roles regarding sanctions, royals are routinely granted access to highly sensitive information, such as the details of names, places, and allegations with regard to kingdom investigations, and the application of royal sanctions as outlined in the Sanctions Procedures and Policy Manual that was updated in 2024. Given the nature of this access, royals as officers should be held to the same standards of confidentiality as all other officers, yet this is not codified in corpora. The proposed amendment seeks to clearly establish confidentiality obligations for these officers based on their role and access to sensitive information, and based on the feedback from directors concerning durability, a second item under Corpora B, now item 2, was added. The additions are as follows. Under Corpora 4, Royalty C, Duties, item 1, addition. Royalty and the royal heirs are officers of SCA Incorporated and or its affiliates as defined in the glossary found in Corpora. As such, the remaining text is royalty must know and uphold the laws of their realm and corpora. For the additions, under Corpora X, grievances, Corpora 10, grievances, Section B, adding confidentiality within the sanction process as item 1, and item 2 to follow, renumbering the remaining items accordingly. Item 1, confidentiality within the sanctions process. Maximizing confidentiality in all aspects of the sanction process is necessary for people to feel free to speak openly and honestly about situations that are being investigated. To that end, all aspects of the investigation and resulting sanction, if any, are to be kept strictly confidential except as necessary to investigate a matter or put into effect any sanction being issued. Officers and royalty involved in potential sanctions are prohibited from commenting on any sanction or investigation into any matter that leads to a sanction, including but not limited to publicly stating facts or opinions regarding the matter beyond necessary announcements or revealing the identity of any complainants or witnesses. Item 2, addition. The duty to maintain confidentiality is a continuing obligation that survives the conclusion of the investigation, the completion, expiration, or removal of any sanction, and the end of an individual's term of office, warrant, or reign. Any breach of this confidentiality requirement constitutes misconduct and may itself be grounds for disciplinary action or sanction independent of the outcome of the underlying matter. Such action may include removal from office, revocation of warrant, additional sanctions, or other remedies as authorized under Corpora and the governing policies. I would respectfully ask the board approve this for commentary.
Joan?
So, and I apologize for not asking this sooner, Stacy. Does this also cover principality, coronets, and their heirs?
It does, Director Stoyer. This covers royalty and the royal heirs are officers of the SCA and its affiliates within the sanctions process, move freely. Any, individual's term of office, warrant, or reign. So any reign.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. And should it include landed baronage as well?
They are officers that would.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Thank you very much for clearing that up for me.
Thank you, Director.
Any further questions? Seeing none, the floor is open.
Kate, maybe?
Maybe.
I'm trying to find the motion to allow for to go out to commentary.
I got it.
Oh, you got it? Are you?
Yeah.
Hey, Joan?
Mr. Chair, I move we present the proposed amendments to Corpora 4C1 and 10B, addressing confidentiality and royals. Present them to the membership and participants for commentary.
It's a motion by Joan and a second by Kate. So any discussion for the motion? Seeing none, votes in favor. Any opposed? That's 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you, directors. I have a second item as a proposed amendment to policy with a request for board action to amend the 2022 bullying and harassment policy, specifically wording in items 7 and 8. The bullying and harassment policy will be housed, of course, in the updated Senechals handbook when it's finished in revision, to read as the proposed. Item 7. Participants engaging in bullying/harassment are subject to appropriate sanctions. If an individual believes they have been subjected to, removing, or have witnessed harassment, bullying, or retaliation, that person should contact a inserting local seneschal, the inserting kingdom seneschal, the society seneschal, the president of the SCA, or that kingdom's ombudsman, following proper channels for complaint and appeal as noted in the Sanctions, Procedures, and Policies Manual 2024. The reasoning behind this request is that the chain of reporting is in compliance with the complaint and investigations process as outlined in the Sanctions, Policies, and Procedures Manual, which states in Section 2, authority of corporate officers and crowns. B, the society seneschal may initiate an investigation into any complaint or incident. C, a kingdom seneschal may preliminarily initiate an investigation into any complaint or incident within the boundaries of their kingdom. They may notify or consult with the society seneschal as needed. Additionally, Corpora Section 7B4 states, the board is the ultimate determiner and arbiter of the rules of the society, regardless of what authority it may delegate elsewhere. All members of the society shall therefore have the right of appeal to the board, provided they follow proper channels for complaint and appeal. Striking or have witnessed from the language based on the policies above against taking third-party complaints, as this is unenforceable. Item 8 of the proposed amendment. Item 8 is a restatement of item 7 and refers to the signage that is placed at event, gate, and/or troll. For item 8, the following statement must be posted at gate troll at every SCA event in a size large enough for people to see it when they enter our events. This language must likewise be quoted in all site handouts at every event or site where a handout is made available. The section quotes, the SCA prohibits harassment and bullying of all individuals and groups. Participants engaging in bullying/harassment are subject to appropriate sanctions. If an individual believes they have been subjected to, striking, or have witnessed harassment, bullying, or retaliation, that person should contact a insertion local seneschal, the insertion kingdom seneschal, the society seneschal, the president of the SCA, or that kingdom's board ombudsman, following proper channels for complaint and appeal as noted in the Sanctions, Procedures, and Policies Manual. And I would respectfully ask for that amendment to be approved.
Krista?
I have a motion if everybody is ready for that. Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the amendment to items 7 and 8 in the 2022 bullying and harassment policy in the Society Seneschal's Handbook as presented by the Society Seneschal.
It's a motion from Krista and a second from Kate. Is there any discussion? Votes in favor. Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. That motion carries.
Thank you, directors.
Okay, item 4C, a policy on generative artificial intelligence. President Pham is not with us today, so I'm going to give this a whirl, eh? The draft policy was previously sent out for commentary from the membership, and adjustments were made based on feedback. The policy proposed currently is as follows. Policy 21. To ensure authenticity, originality, and integrity in creative and scholarly works, creations, products, or outputs associated with the SCA, this policy outlines the rules for the use of generative artificial intelligence, or AI, for official use by the organization. 1. The use of generative AI art tools to create or modify outputs that are presented in any official SCA capacity is prohibited. The use of generative AI art for promotional and advertising purposes is expressly prohibited. The use of generative AI art for SCA publications is expressly prohibited. Tools may be used to edit or modify existing non-AI creations. The use of generative AI text tools to create or modify outputs in any official SCA capacity or on its official online spaces are acceptable the following uses: to summarize documents or meeting notes, to edit, proofread, or reformat existing content, to create content outlines and templates. 3. The use of generative AI for volunteer or employee work product is permitted unless expressly prohibited in other official SCA documents. Responsible use. 1. The unauthorized use, reproduction, or misrepresentation of another person's or source's work as one's own is strictly prohibited. 2. There must be proper execution when referencing or incorporating the work of others, including written, artistic, research materials. This includes stating when AI is used and the platform that is used. 3. A person utilizing generative AI is responsible for the end product. C. Enforcement. Number 1. Violations of this policy may result in removal of works from display or publication, removal from office, or other disciplinary actions as determined by the appropriate SCA officers. Violations of this policy may be reported to their society officer in their respective purview. Society officers may issue additional guidance within their areas of oversight. Exception and exclusion may be granted in writing by the society president. Stand approval of that policy. Carl.
Sorry, did you say?
Yep, Carl.
Okay, sorry, the audio was a bit rough for me for a second. I think just starting out, the directors really want to thank President Pham for just the massive amount of work, rework, and correspondence with the populace. We know that we've probably received more commentary to this one topic than any other topic we've ever had. And I know that President Pham read it all, received it all, and then also took a lot of feedback from the board itself and had to rework this policy, I believe, at least 6 times. I do believe that he has now got it into a very balanced policy that allows the corporation to move forward well and protects the integrity of our artists and their ability to have faith that the work being presented is their own.
Krista?
Following on what Carl said, absolute impressed with the work and patience that President Pham had with all of the commentary that we had on this. I know everybody is very much invested in protecting our artists. I think this policy really helps with that, and it also gives power to each of the separate officer groups to allow them to strengthen that policy as they see fit for their areas. And so I think that's very important.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, the floor is open. Carl.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the policy on generative artificial intelligence submitted by President Pham and added to the documents.
That is a motion from Carl and a second by Kate. Looks like there is a question in the Q&A. Louise?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a fairly excellent question from Jeffrey. What would this AI policy's perspective be on a poster generated by an event the SCA is collaborating with as a demo when that other group's event committee, not the SCA, provides the SCA group with its clearly AI generated poster? And we've all had to deal with that. Would we be able to propagate that poster on our side as the other group's official media?
Krista?
So interestingly enough, that would be a question for President Pham, as he is the final arbiter of making decisions for very specific questions like that, where it doesn't clearly fall under the policy, because that would be working with another organization. I think that would be very appropriate for something to fall into his purview and make the final decision on that, as is stated in the policy.
And we do have one more question, which, Mr. Chair, your readout was a little bit broken up due to technical errors. Robin asks, as the policy readout was broken up, does it cover funding by SCA branches and how that license impacts ownership / responsibility?
I don't believe it did it? No.
I don't believe we've mentioned funding.
No, I don't think so.
Is that licensing for what? For AI, for AI agents?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, and this is something that when we've discussed this, obviously the corporate office, we are 3 actual real life humans, and I am personally ethically against any AI, but as things have continued on the way they have, all of our programs that we use have AI in them. So even when I don't want to be using it, Adobe, Word, things like that, they'll have AI in them. So this policy, rather than being a blanket no, which I would have supported as well, allows for us to be able to use licenses that have AI in them and not fall afoul of the policy, is my understanding. And everybody out there, if you have other questions or commentary, we've approved this policy. That doesn't mean that we don't still want to hear, because it is an evolving policy. No policy is going to catch 100% of everybody. Thank you.
I guess on that point, and to go back to what Krista said, we knew we would not catch up 100% of everything. We knew we'd not be able to write one single document that could provide good guidance across all situations. We have a president that was empowered to move the organization forward, and it will be his judgment to handle those one-offs.
Is there any other questions?
Glad to see questions. That's nice. We appreciate you guys asking.
All right. Seeing none, we will move to voting. Votes in favor. Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries. Okay. Item 4D, the Learning Management System proposal. This is also coming from President Bao Pham. I have less information on this one. President Pham has put together a working group to evaluate different vendors to provide a learning management system. They have completed that review process and at this time are looking for I believe approval to proceed with the vendor for Blend Ed.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Is there any questions or discussion on that proposal?
I mean, I'll definitely, especially kind of doing the transparency thing. We really appreciated being the work done, I believe, by Eva, if I remember the name correctly, who gave a wonderful demonstration on the last board meeting, and then followed it up with several other supplemental demonstrations with the vendors. They gave us a great idea of costs, balance of benefits, and I think that the one selected is the best option for the SCA to provide the service to its members without putting undue financial burden upon the organization.
Any other comments? Kate?
Do you want to talk about like the plan for the rollout, or for Chris is like, yes. So the first plan for the LMS is to work on DBI or DEIB, Jesus, classes and programming for the corporate officers and society officers. And then the next plan is for the Exchequer to the Chancellery of the Exchequer to build out their classes, which Erin is very excited for, because she has lots of training for not only kingdom level exchequers, but also lower local level exchequers. And then we are planning to open it up society wide. Or did we want to do officers first and then society wide? Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
We are very excited because we think this will help bring the SCA closer and together, and for learning aspects, as well as just connecting people across the known world as well. Yield.
So as we get closer to all of that, there'll be additional communications that'll come out through the official channels with actual details. But that's where everything is right now. So at this time, President Pham is looking to have the vendor selection approved. Carl?
Beat you. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the selection of Blended as the Society of Creative Actions official LMS system as suggested by the President Bao Pham.
There's a motion from Carl and a second by Krista. Is there any discussion for the amendment for the motion? Seeing none, votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries. Section 5, new business. Item A. The Nordmark affiliate agreement. This is forwarded from President Bao Pham. Our affiliate agreements are updated periodically. And he has that has recently been completed with this affiliate. He has presented this for approval and sign off by the board. Leslie, do we need a motion to approve that, or we just do that by consensus?
He may disagree.
One more time.
In and out. Done by consensus. However, you may want to verify with.
You're dropping in and out.
Yeah.
I think she's saying accepted by consensus, but we want to confirm with Stacy.
Okay. Stacy.
So everyone was cutting in and out. Can I have the question again, please?
we're just trying to determine what approvals are required in order to be able to sign off on the updated affiliate agreement.
Oh goodness, I thought we went through this yesterday. In terms of voting or in terms of,
Yeah, yeah.
for the affiliate agreement, you need a majority.
An actual vote, or we can do it by consensus.
We should just do a vote then if we're
I
unsure.
think you need a vote.
Yeah, let's just
Okay.
vote it.
Yep.
All right, in that case. Kate,
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the affiliate agreement for SKA Nordmark, which is Sweden, I believe, in the Kingdom of Drakenwald, as presented by the president of the SCA, Bao Pham, and once accepted, signed by you, Mr. Chair.
there's a motion from Kate and a second by Krista. Or any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, votes in favor. Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. That motion carries.
Mr. Chairman,
Leslie,
I'm sorry, my feed is cutting in and out. I did not catch the second on that.
Krista,
Okay. If you can give me just a second, I'm going to pop back in
okay.
and see if it fixes. Thank you.
Think we need some medieval hold music.
I know, right? Something to fill the gap.
Well,
No.
while we're waiting, I just noticed that new business item C isn't just SCA Limited Australia, it's everybody. So do we need to change the agenda to say that?
I mean, they kicked us on this, so I mean, we could say
Yeah.
they're
It
the
was
initiator.
inspired by them, but
That's right. Yeah, they're the initiators on this.
I mean, it's just the official
I'm back,
agenda.
sir.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sure that
Clear.
is very interesting filler while we were waiting for Leslie to come back.
We're really
Okay.
bad. We're really bad at this. We should not start a podcast.
Next time I'll just sing a song.
Item 5B, the Thrown Weapons Handbook. Melissa.
Fantastic. I am very pleased to present this to the board. My really fabulous Thrown Weapons Deputy, John Libby, held meetings for well over a year with all the Kingdom deputies working on this new handbook. So my thanks and kudos to him for all the hard work of him and his deputies. The proposed March 25th through May 25th, 2026. Based on the received commentary, we made 8 changes. 6 were minor changes for clarification, and there were 2 additional rules. We also reviewed the handbook with the board, and there were 4 additional changes based upon that review. Quick question, would you like me to read all those changes, or did you want to go for a vote? I'm happy to read those changes.
I think it's worth reviewing the changes.
Okay. Based on the commentary, the changes were 5.22, expected behavior. We added downrange to the phrase, just before each throw, look downrange and behind you to ensure that it is clear. 5242, expected behavior. We moved the definition of worry from the glossary to this section. Worry is to move a weapon stuck in a target back and forth in the plane of impact. That's how you get the weapons out of the target. 721 holds. We changed, it's just clarification to the wording. On a thrown weapons range, when a hold is called, you must put your weapons on the ground or another safe position. Stop moving And then we added, and indicate to the marshal that you're aware of the hold by acknowledging it physically, such as putting up your hands or verbally. 811 is new. Under range procedures, we added, when on the range, you must be aware of activity around you, whether or not you are actively throwing. 10.3, under equipment standards, we changed throwing knives to simply knives due to mundane laws in some of our affiliates. 10.4, under equipment standards, we added clarification to make it consistent with the Armored Combat and the Equestrian handbooks. Spear is now referred to spears, including javelins. Under 13.2.1, accessibility, we renamed that section to vision and hearing related. And in 20.8.6, under weapons inspection, we added, does the weapon have any major cracks? From the review with the board, the changes we made were 5.2.1.3. Do not enter or exit the range without the marshal's permission. And we added, in the event of an emergency, the thrower, a marshal, or a spectator should call a hold so that the thrower may safely leave the range. 8.1.2.1, we changed try to use consistent commands to using consistent commands is strongly recommended. 10.1.1, removed the phrase, there may also be mundane laws that apply to the possession and use of throwing weapons for practices and competitions. We determined this was redundant with other rules about participants obeying laws, local laws, and the marshal is still responsible for knowing and enforcing those local laws. 13.2.1, under accessibility, we updated the language from silent heralds to sign heralds. And that are the only changes in the handbook that were sent out, from the handbook that was sent out for commentary.
Are there any questions? If not, the floor is open. Keith?
Mr. Director, I move that we accept the new Thrown Weapons Handbook as presented by the Society Marshal.
That is a motion by Keith and a second by Kate. Is there any discussion on the motion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you, and John will be thrilled.
Item 5C, alternative crown. Joan.
Hi, everybody. As you know, in the East a while ago, we approved a variance to allow a one-time experiment for an alternative crown. And so that experiment being underway and under study, we're requesting additional experiments from interested kingdoms or principalities. We're looking to have at least 3 participants to contribute to the experiment. And I just want to acknowledge our friends in Lockhart. This is somewhat inspired by their requests, but we do want to open this to any interested, an opportunity to apply for participating in the experiment to any kingdom or principality. So we got together. Yeah, we are issuing guidance. So the purpose of this discussion is to issue guidance as to what would go into a proposal to participate in the experiment. So we're not taking the proposal now. This is just the guidance that would go into submitting a packet. So think of this as a first step. towards participating in the experiment. I also do want to emphasize that we are not going to be starting any new experiments until the current one is closed, which will be in April 2027. Right. So the items that we would like to see in a successful proposal will include the format of the alternative competition, statistics about the pool of candidates for that competition, including trends over the last 5 years, and referencing what your kingdom's current pool of armored combatants would be. So we're looking for a similar proportion of viable candidates to come out of that competition. A description of the function that the crown or coronet fulfills and how this alternative format competition will successfully fulfill this function. We'll need affidavits as part of the packet from all current royalty and kingdom greater officers that explain either their support or their opposition to this proposal. If the proposal is coming from a principality, we would also require the approval of the ruling kingdom in accordance with their kingdom and principality laws. In the packet, we'd also need your review of corpora kingdom law and any applicable principality law that highlights the specific variances you would be requesting. If the kingdom is an affiliate, we would need an agreement among all affected affiliate boards that affect the participating kingdom. And then a description of the methods that would be used to engage the populace and officers around the proposal. For a proposal that is accepted, the board of directors would poll your populace. We would require substantial participation in that poll from your members. And from that, of the poll participants, we would require substantial support in favor of the alternative method. The procedure for submitting this packet would be, first, you prepare the packet as requested. The Society Seneschal would review that packet for completeness and compliance with all applicable laws. Incomplete packets, of course, would be returned for revision. The Society Seneschal would present any correct and complete packets at a regularly scheduled board meeting. And the board, from any submitted packets, would select one or more, or none, depending on the perception, would select from those packets those perceived to be best for the SCA in general, using the information in the packets and considering any additional commentary that we might receive from the SCA populace at large. For each selected proposal, the board would then direct the Society Seneschal to conduct the polling of that entity for a period of about a month. And then if the polling meets the criteria, the threshold, then the Society Seneschal would present the variance to the board for at our next meeting, and then the board would decide whether to approve that variance. If that variance is accepted, it would be issued, and then that authorization will be valid for a period of 1 year past issuance. If no alternative crown or coronet competition is held during that time period, the variance would expire. The variance authorization may be used only for a singular competition. So this information will go out to the various kingdoms for their consideration. Of course, no one would be required to participate, but if they're interested, that's what would go into the packet. And again, we're not going to begin any experiments until after the current one closes in April of 2027. So, directors, are there any discussion or clarifications that you feel we should make? Yeah, Megan?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in and speak to the fact that we wanted to make sure that everyone had guidance in advance on what we wanted to see in a packet. This can take some of that gray area out and make it a bit more of a transparent process for folks that want to do this. You know, any good experiment for any sort of change needs more than one data point. So we want to make sure that we're doing this in a way that's going to be beneficial, but also make it so that people don't have to keep, you know, coming back to ask more and more clarifying questions. We wanted to have a packet that we can send out that has the information laid out to make it as easy of a process as it can be.
Was there any other further commentary or questions?
Keith?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment real quickly that I'm really enjoying, I'm in favor of this program. I like the idea that we're giving all of the kingdoms the information up front that they'll need and what we'll expect to see, so that it'll really streamline the process of submitting a variance for an alternative crown. That'll make it easier for others to participate, and no one should get the feeling that the goalposts are being moved. It makes everything transparent.
Any other comments? Seeing none. At this time, we will move to a 10-minute break. And we will come back at 1:30, about 12 minutes. Leslie?
Yes, sir. I responded before.
Oh. All right.
I'm sorry if it cuts in and out. I've tried rebooting, so.
Okay. I think everybody is back, so we can proceed. Section 6, reports. At this time, we are going to take item H out of order and do the report for the Society Chatelaine. Drew. Andrew? You might be on mute.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
So we have no requested board actions, no new policy interpretations, and no new policies. Things in Chatelaine world are going pretty well. I'd like to welcome 6 new Kingdom officers to the fold. They are all getting their warrants worked out and getting things moving in each of their kingdoms. There's been a big focus on getting local officers warranted properly, and it's going rather well. The next Known World Newcomer Symposium virtual will be held on the 28th of November. That is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, as it has been the last 2 years. It's being hosted by Meridies. Mistress Ellen DeLace is going to be our event steward, and the website is already linked on the Society website, as is the social media, so that is going very well. We are putting more attention to trying to get the handbook finished. And we are also really starting to form some strategies for burnout, especially in our smaller local groups or on college campuses and whatnot, trying to hold more regional meetings for newcomers versus just depending on a group of 5 people to continue to nurture newcomers, because it takes a lot, especially when it's been the same 5 people for a very long time. So we're working with that, and currently that is all I have for you.
Are any questions for the Society Chatelaine? See none. By consensus and without objection, the report is received. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this point, we will return to the ordered agenda for the report of the president. I will be taking this one. Requested board actions, none. Policy interpretations, none. New policies, the policy on generative AI has already been addressed. Accommodations, we're scrolling on the screen during the break. General status report. The learning management system options are up for final selection by the board of directors. The policy on generative AI has undergone revisions based on feedback by the membership and the board, and the final version is before the board for approval. The SCA is exploring the possibility of paid advertisements to improve recruitment while working in conjunction with Kingdoms. We are moving towards creating data pipelines to the society to make better decisions. The SCA is very cognizant of the challenges of handling personal information and is working on documentation and standardization. We are doing preliminary exploration of several quality of life additions for Scadians, with more information being revealed in the next report. Publishable summary. Progress has been made on the learning management system, and we are gathering additional information for the board of directors to make final decisions. Project has generated a lot of excitement. It is a massive and ambitious one. So we'll start by providing more consistent training on inclusivity with a course for the DEIB officers. And eventually, that training will extend to all offices. The next phase is to create courses for all officers and training for their respective roles. With an LMS, there will be multiple ways to educate and inform, removing some of the uncertainties of assuming an office while providing more consistent results. The third phase of the LMS is to focus on our mission of educating, researching, and learning about pre-1600 life. The society will provide opportunities to create courses to learn about art, fighting, service, history, and basically everything we do in this organization, housed in a centralized learning library. Lessons don't have to be lost to time and can be accessed time and time again with a lot of support. Videos, quizzes, presentations, and various other tools will be available to increase our knowledge and understanding of history. The policy on generative AI has undergone revisions based on commentary that was submitted. I thank everyone for writing in and for your perspectives on a complicated issue. There was an even mix of feedback of people suggesting that AI should be used at all and people saying that a policy was needed. There was strong opposition to generative AI, particularly as it relates to AI art usage. Some of the feedback focused on how AI is an advancement like other technologies, and it is better to adapt and form a policy proactively. Others felt no policy was needed at all, and others gave nuanced feedback based on their modern work experience. Revised policy takes all the feedback into consideration to deliver a policy with hard stances where the membership has asked the SCA to take a stand, flexible enough to keep up and adapt with an ever-changing technology. The SCA is exploring the potential of paid advertisements and is currently looking at different implementation options. Recruitment is a high priority for the SCA, and we continue to look at avenues to by consensus and without objections. The society president is Vice President of Information Technology.
Carl, I think this one might be used since Sam's not on the call.
Yeah, I just saw that and I do not have it open. Give me 1 second. Do we typically, sorry, Jonathan, I've not done this before. Do we just basically do the general status report?
Basically, if they
Yep.
requested any actions or.
Yep. Okay. This quarter was about planning for the future. We have some exciting projects on the horizon, which should, if they work out, greatly benefit our membership. Sorry, I had to go fast. The SCA is blessed with volunteers who have knowledge, skills, and love the organization. The development team is likely to have a lot on their plate in the near future. Some of our high-level corporate officers do work on their personal equipment. This has caused problems in the past when the equipment was suddenly unavailable. In addition to being a burden on the volunteers, there are security and legal concerns about having corporate work done on personal equipment. As such, we have proposed providing laptops for several top-level officers with a rolling life cycle replacement. It's important that the corporate level operate as transparently as possible. Part of this initiative is the streaming of board meetings to the membership. The conference camera system we have been using failed. We purchased a new camera for the first quarter meeting, which seemed to work well. We continue with the standard updates and patching to keep the lights on. A number of significant vulnerabilities were discovered for the Linux operating systems. We were able to quickly apply mitigations and patches to maintain security. It is likely in the near future we'll have to look at expanding our infrastructure if we want to enable the membership offerings we have started planning. Also, he would like to offer accommodations for Nicholas Milano and for Kevin Baum, especially who has had to recently step down and has done an excellent job for the society.
By consensus and without objection, the report of the Vice President of IT is received. Society Web Minister. Looks like no report was received.
No, he has had to step down he has to quickly step down and is helping transition, but he had no report submitted.
All right, thank you. The Society Communications Officer, Sarah.
Hello. I'd like to begin by thanking Magistra Marjorie Gilroy, she's modernly known as Katie Gilroy, for her help transitioning into this role and the amazing work she has done on the SCA 60-year march. As this is my first time presenting to the team, please forgive any missteps in process. They are entirely mine. A few general status updates. The annual report from 2025 is behind, but with the BODS partnership, we will catch up. Post this meeting, a few of you will be getting some reminders. There is an open role that exists for the social media deputy reporting to me. Applications close on August the 1st. And as is stated in my report, awesome case modes are awesome. And the society is very rich that people choose to serve in that way. That said, we could use more. The greatest opportunity moving forward is to help kingdoms scale their efforts in social media. This is what they have self-reported in their quarterly report. They would do that through better volunteer pipelines, shared resources, video guidance, and repeatable content models. With additional support in these areas, the Society is well positioned to expand both member engagement and public awareness throughout the remainder of 2026. The Society's Kingdom social media program remains healthy and active. Reporting Kingdoms collectively reach tens of thousands of followers monthly and continue to demonstrate creativity, adaptability, and strong engagement despite ongoing volunteer constraints. I have provided a quarterly report with a deep dive of individual data points. However, I have a specific follow-up that I will ask for this board's action regarding digital advertising. Recall that this is a follow-up from a previous meeting where this board saw a clear channel advertising proposal that was somewhat general brand awareness. And this group tasked me to go back and to create a menu of services that would allow a level of cost sharing, be targeted, provide clearer key performance indicators, also known as KPIs, and clear responsibilities. In creating this, it became clear that as prices and available KPIs change, this cannot be a single policy document, only an approved process. Digital moves very, very quickly. We don't own the advertising platforms or the prices. Therefore, I have provided a sample process document to this team that shows how this might work. But it is very much something that has to be built in partnership with the kingdoms. Therefore, my request is to take this document as guidance. Empower me to go speak with Kingdom Great officers to explore advertising for 2027. And specifically, agree to approve a budget for next year for cost shared advertising with a minimum of $5,000, and it would be targeted at cost sharing event advertising. This would happen when your normal 2027 budget is finalized. If that is approved, I would also return to this group at the next meeting with a suggested policy change intended to add a statement requiring comms approval and oversight on all paid advertising. And I would do that in partnership with the Seneschal and the appropriate officers. I am open for questions. Seeing none, that is my report and my request of this board.
Megan, did you have your hand up?
I just wanted to say thank you. You jumped in, and thus far, everything you've presented has been incredibly helpful. So I'm looking forward to working with you more. Thank you for all this.
Thank you so much.
By consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Communications Officer is accepted.
Before you do that, I see Kate looks like she's trying to come off mute.
I couldn't remember. Did we decide to remand the budget conversation to next month? So I think we were going to vote on it next month. Unless
As I recall, the expectation was to push the budget conversation, but I would be expecting a general consensus. Yes, Sarah, go start the conversations. That's what I'm hoping to obtain.
Krista?
And I'm pretty sure that's what we decided on yesterday in the meeting, was that our plan is to go forward with this, have those conversations, and then approve a budget when it comes time to talk about the budget.
Thank you.
Thank you. Social Media Officer. I'm sorry.
Well, that's technically still me because I'm both. There is no, the report is combined. So I gave you both.
That's me not clicking to my next agenda item. So let's try the Society DEIB Officer, Roxy.
Hello again. I want to apologize. The DEIB office does not have a lot to report on this quarter. The last few months have been particularly trying mundanely with various family medical emergencies. But I can definitely sing the praise of my DEIB officers who have definitely not been standing still. We are seeing more and more inclusion and event accessibility classes being taught at various kingdom events and inter-kingdom wars, including Pennsic right now. And a number of Kingdom DEIB officers have started publishing post-event inclusion and accessibility surveys, collecting data on whether participants experienced any barriers to participation and how we can make our sites and events more accessible through that data collection. And that is all I currently have.
Are there any questions on this report? Seeing none, by consensus and without objection, the report of the Society DEIB Officer is gratefully accepted. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Officer of Inclusive Programs, Renee.
Do not believe she is on unless she pops up. So let me open her report. Apologies. Aha, found it. Good. General status report. It's from our inclusive programming officer, Emily Renee Carroll. I have taught an inclusive related class at Newby Collegium in Glen Aubin at the end of March. The title was The SCA as a Third Place, Finding Your Home in the Modern Middle Ages. The course promoted inclusivity through research about third places and the power of home. The concept of third places was created by sociologist Ray Oldenburg and consists of social surroundings separate from the two usual social environments of home and work. The concept of the power of home was introduced by Thomas L. Friedman, who theorizes that home is anchored in community in the quest for dignity. The course was successful and sparked conversation afterward. I plan to teach it at future events or virtually if requested/needed. B. I am still working with BAUFAM, Roxy Gonzalez, April Villeneuve, Tiana Hansen, Simon of Barnsdale, and Sam Davis on the creation of a learning management system for the DEIB office to make sure all members of the society are on the same page regarding DEIB policies and procedures. April has continued to work hard on the meeting with reps for different LMS platforms and providing us with updates, price brackets, recordings of meetings, and pros and cons of each LMS. I'm still working with Roxy Gonzalez on an initiative to consistently create a SCA stance promoting cultural appreciation over cultural appropriation. We are looking forward to continuing our collaboration through the summer. I have reached out to make a plan with Sarah Chapman, new communications officer, to ensure that I receive relevant information/communication about DEIB or inclusion, and that she will receive any relevant information related to inclusion so that it can be shared with those who need/want the information. This will ensure that I am better informed when it comes to decision-making, advice I give to those who ask for it, writing reports, etc. Additionally, information with her will amplify what I do and ensure that any information I need to share will reach as many as possible. I have also been having conversations about issues involving inclusion. These conversations involve sharing information/give advice when needed and talking about how AI policy and AI in general could/does impact issues related to the inclusion. Thus ends the general status report.
By
And there
consensus.
are there are no policy interpretations and no requested board actions. I yield.
By consensus and without objection, the report from Inclusive Programs is accepted. 6B, the report from the Society Seneschal. Stacy.
I always feel like Walter Cronkite when you do it like that, but thanks very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, directors. This is my report for Q2 of 2026. Requested board actions were taken care of in a previous segment. I have no variances. I have no policy interpretations. I have no new policies. Group status changes were taken care of in a previous section. My commendations scrolled during our break. And that gets us to the general status report. As of this writing, which was 2 weeks ago, Battlemore had just concluded, Ontario West War was in progress, and Pensick awaits in the very near future. Discussions between myself and the Kingdom Seneschals usually ramp up from our usual dialogue as specific questions tend to bubble up at this time of year. With the exception of a couple of new requests in the last week, those have since been addressed. For Kingdom law changes, I am caught up with the immediate and urgent backlog for reviews of Kingdom law. There are a couple of kingdoms that have received reviews for compliance with the governing documents and existing policies within the last 4 months, but not yet have updated their laws. I am stressing to them the need to update for compliance with the governing documents and published policies, with a couple of meetings happening in the next 2 weeks. This quarter included continued collaborative efforts across society offices, including I had the opportunity to partner with the Society Earl Marshal on some specific reports, conversations regarding matters that intersect both the Exchequer and the Seneschal offices. Aaron Potter-Tehan and I speak very, very frequently, especially during the war season. And a discussion with the Laurel Sovereign of Arms to jointly address a recent cross-office policy question regarding an order that carries a requirement of a peerage as a prerequisite to ensure consistency with the governing documents as well as heraldic policies. Seneschal handbook updates continue as policies come online and are to be incorporated, and will include updates for those policies that are currently in request. Other handbooks in the works include the event manual and the Society Youth Handbook that I'm working with the Society Minister of Youth. Speaking of the youth officer, she and I have received 2 applications by the June deadline for members interested in applying for the office of Society Youth Officer, and we anticipate interviews to commence after this meeting. For travel, quarter 2 included travel to Meridian Spring Coronation. For quarter 3, I have anticipated professional travel that will take me to the West Kingdom as well as the Outlands in October that may overlap with discussions and meetings with folks that are there. I have no specific travel planned, but that may happen as opportunity or need arises. Publishable summary. Welcome once again to war season, and 2026 appears to be more robust than 2025. In usually more ways than one. I am very pleased to report that the 2025 Hamlet experiment is going well and gaining momentum. As of this writing in North America, we have 4 Hamlets, 2 in Outlands, 1 in Ansteora, and one in the Outlands, 2 in Ansteora, and 1 in the West. Based on continuing conversations I have with Kingdom Seneschals, I expect additional branches to follow the application process in the next quarter. Office hours are planned again in late July. I forgot that Pensick was going on in late July, so that has been changed to August once the war is over. And we'll likely focus on the large event issues and policies, although policy discussions are a weekly and sometimes daily occurrence with our Kingdom Seneschals. Welcome to our new Kingdom Seneschals who have or will have taken office at the time of this writing. It's often referred to as the toughest job you may ever love. And that's because serving as a Seneschal is both challenging and can be very deeply rewarding. There may be long days and difficult decisions, but there will also be the satisfaction of knowing that your efforts make it possible for others to learn, compete, create, and celebrate all that we do in the SCA. So welcome to Heather Rarden, who is Eden Lowry, who has stepped up as the Kingdom Seneschal of Atlantia at the end of May. Also to Dawn Wilkerson, Adelaide de Sardaigne, and the Kingdom of Meridies, and I look forward to working with both of you. And finally, volunteers are a consistent topic in all of my conversations lately. Our volunteer force remains the foundation of our organization. Our members, giving of themselves, contribute their time, their knowledge, their skills, their experience to support all activities, administer offices, teach, organize events, and perform so many of our essential tasks that enable the society to fulfill its mission. Much of this work occurs behind the scenes and often goes unseen yet it is critical to the continued success and sustainability of the organization. The dedication and generosity of our volunteers strengthens the society at every level. Their continued commitment is deeply appreciated. So thank a volunteer at some point, whether you see them pushing a mop, washing a dish, or running a gate. Without them, our events, activities, and community diminishes. That concludes my report.
Are there any questions for the Society Seneschal? Seeing none, by consensus and without objection, the report is gratefully received.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Item 6B1, Society Youth Activities Officer.
And that's also me. This is the quarterly report for the Society Youth Activity Officer. Requested board actions are none. Policy interpretations, also none. New policies, none. Commendations, I believe, scrolled during our break. General status report. Deputy summaries of the Society Youth Officer. There was one Zoom meeting, but no one was available to come. The Society Youth Officer notes that she is publishing Zoom meetings for the rest of the year for the third Sunday of each month, and check that emails are updated and correct. The overreaching goals include family, working with the whole family, parenting youth, teens, and how to combine that to make the SCA more welcoming. She says that sees this as happening, especially at the Interkingdom Wars and the larger kingdom events. Visibility and accessibility for youth activities and classes at events, compiling resources and information for families, parents, teens, and youth. Youth variety. There's been a significant increase in youth participation across the society, extending well beyond traditional crafts and buffer activities. Young people are actively participating in archery and even equestrian programs where creative youth activities such as hobby horse jousting and chariot races have been introduced. This growth demonstrates the increasing opportunities available for youth and families to engage in many aspects of the society. She notes she would like to see greater coordination among the various youth serving areas. Rather than operating independently, these groups could benefit from regular communication to share ideas, identify best practices, and work together to better support youth and their families. She would also encourage the sharing of quarterly reports from the various youth-related offices and activities within Kingdom Ministers of Youth, providing Kingdom officers with a broader overview of youth and family programming within their kingdoms could improve awareness, facilitate collaboration, and help identify opportunities for future growth. Travel, she's traveled through North Shield for July and August. Publishable summary. Warmer weather brings a number of ongoing interkingdom wars, including double wars in Drakenwald, Antir West War, Lilies, and Battlemore. These events continue to experience strong attendance with participation by families. Youth and family activities are also showing significant growth in the last several years. While traditional youth programming such as crafts remains popular, opportunities have expanded to include participation into youth martial activities. This broader range of activities reflects a growing commitment to making the society more inclusive for our young people. And she believes that this increased inclusion is helping attract and retain families to the society. That concludes her report.
Thank you. By consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Youth Officer is received. Item 6C, Vice President of Corporate Operations, Louise.
Thank you. I'm back. All right. Here is the report from the corporate office for the last quarter. It is thrilling, of course. No, we love a boring report. The stale invoices from 2022 through 2025 that were brought up at the April meeting have now been cleared from the corporate QuickBooks. So any Kingdom invoices where you were seeing very old invoices, those should be gone now. As a reminder, these did not represent any existing liability. They just required board approval because they were from previous years. We have made some additions to the Kingdom membership reports. These are used by Kingdom Seneschals and other officers to verify membership information for administrative purposes, such as warrants and event registrations. These reports include at-a-glance columns now to check for auto renewal status, background check information, and any active sanctions. That information remains available on dedicated reports as well. And as a reminder, the Kingdom Seneschals all have access to live membership information through the Neon CRM database. And if there are ever any issues verifying anything, I live in the computer. I'm in the little box. Just contact membership and we will verify anything. A lot of the time, members have created duplicates or inadvertently overwritten their own information, things like that. It's easily fixed. We do not have to have a constitutional crisis on our hands. This quarter is traditionally the busiest time of year for insurance certificate requests. Told you it was thrilling. And in keeping with tradition, we have had a 7% increase in certificates compared to this time last year. We're over 400 now, and last year we only did 505 for the whole year. And this is sort of an indication of how much is going on out there and how much you guys are all doing, including demos. I love to get a last minute certificate, except for that it's for a demo and we're going to go show off to a youth group or a retirement home. Love that. For those groups who still need to mail insurance checks, given everything that's going on, please, a reminder, also email your request anyway to insurance@sca.org and let us know when to expect it. We can then follow up if it doesn't come through, and your request will be in the queue to be processed. As always, please reach out to us at membership@sca.org if you have questions or need assistance with your membership, insurance@sca.org for insurance questions, and for background check matters, background checks at sca.org or your Kingdom Seneschal. Stacy is all-knowing, but she can't help you with the background checks. Take one thing off her plate, contact us directly. And that is the corporate operations report.
Are there any questions related to this report? Seeing none, the report of the corporate operations is gratefully accepted. Publications Manager.
This is the report of Publications Manager Gloria Woodard, known in society as Honor of Restermal. She has a few warrants that have been presented, and those will be have been handled or will be handled in executive session. The publications for the SCA continue to be provided for the information to SCA participants. You know what it meant. It was a typo. The work the publications team does is mostly behind the scenes, where they scramble for quality content to add to the standard event announcements and information provided in every publication. They need support from the populace to elevate this content. It is the perfect avenue to share how to research a persona, the research you did as a participant in an arts and sciences competition, how you made the beautiful garb you wear, how you tooled the images on your leather armor, how you made your shield, the process of getting your name and arms approved, etc. Any of your journeys in the SCA can be of considerable help to newcomers and veterans as they immerse themselves in new facets of the SCA. Please share ideas and content with the publications team. You can contact the editors of Tournaments Illuminated and Complete Anachronist, and also our Society Chronicler directly. If you're in doubt of the best recipient, please just send your contribution to pubmanager@sca.org. And a work group report was also presented, which we discussed in executive session. And that's it. And that's the way it is.
By consensus and without objection, the report of the Publications Manager is gratefully accepted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Tournaments Illuminated.
Tournaments Illuminated. All right. This is, there's a lot going on with TI. Just to double check, when there is a general status report and a publishable summary, I read both. Is that correct?
I think so. I think that's what we've been doing.
All right, buckle in. Gathering enough content for our issues. Oh, sorry, this is from the Tournament's Illuminated editor, Kendra Jones, known in society as the Honorable Lady Kendrith Philia Gerald. Gathering enough content for our issues continues to be the main challenge in publishing the TI in a consistent manner. We continue to reach out to and are approached by members of our community for content. As we publish more issues, I am being approached by more members, so word is getting out. An aside, I also received a phone call from a gentleman from New York who was very surprised his subscription to the TI had resumed, and even more surprised to discover the SCA had not gone bankrupt, as he thought, but there was also a chapter local to him that put on events. I showed him the SCA website, referred him to the Kingdom of the East, and gave him the East Kingdom Seneschal's email address. I really hope he enjoys his first events. And this is in reference to the fact that we did have a stoppage in the Tournament's Illuminated publishing for a variety of unavoidable reasons. But yeah, it's back and it's beautiful. I also had a discussion with Joyce and Gloria regarding the raison d'etre of the TI. Under my predecessor's leadership, the TI strove to be a premier scholarly magazine in the mode of archaeology, and under their guidance, the TI largely accomplished that. But in the current climate we are in, with our local and regional publications often publishing very little beyond the basic requirements, we have developed a resource gap for newcomers and junior participants of our society to find things like creating a medieval seeming lunch from grocery store items, or what is meant by an attempt, or how to use the 10-foot rule to their best advantage. When I was being interviewed for this position, I was told one of the hopes was to make TI something useful to all strata of our society. Unfortunately, having something useful to newcomers while simultaneously being an exclusively scholarly publication isn't something I think I can manage. For that reason, I've discussed with Joyce, Gloria, Louise, and Megan O'Shea my ideas about reorienting the TI away from being primarily a scholarly publication to a magazine that has something for everyone. Of course, we will continue to put out great research articles, but we will also include more work that addresses how to SCA. To that end, I am introducing 2 new regular columns. The first is called Please Allow Me to Introduce Myself, where a seasoned member of the SCA talks about just starting out, their interests, how they got to where they are now, and how things work. And I know you're all just dying to do that, so you should contact Kendra. I am also introducing Newcomers Academy, and I had to say it like that because it ends with IE, which will be a multi-part series from a newcomers orientation program I developed in the hopes that it might spur Kingdom Chatelaines to come up with articles on programs they are successfully running in their areas, both to share best practices and also let newcomers know what is available to them if they didn't already know. I've already published an article from a foodie Laurel about how to make 3 different types of SCA-esque lunches from items from the grocery store, 1 Roman, 1 Norse, and 1 late Italian. I, as an Italian, am always on time. And we'll be looking for pieces I can publish about what to look for in inexpensive feast gear that passes, patterns for simple garb, and other tips and suggestions for making the most of the early SCA experience. Finally, Joyce Morris, Alan Rawson, and I will be getting together to discuss a proposal for bringing the TI online. Gloria Woodard reminded us of the subscription liability, which we will be cognizant of in our meeting. We all know that media content is going online everywhere, so it is only a matter of time for the TI and other publications to go that route as well. There are benefits to this transfer: full color issues, easy accessibility for our online readership, but there are also challenges as well, possibly needing a new layout structure, needing additional web services, either in the form of extra work for the webminister team or needing our own dedicated person or persons. Our plan is to have a proposal ready for review by the time of the next board meeting. Publishable summary. Mostly the same, but we are working on getting the latest issue of TI out. We continue to work on getting more content for the magazine, and need for content is one of the major factors in determining our publishing schedule, which has continued to be erratic. TI report.
By consensus and without objection, the report from Tournaments Illuminated is accepted. Complete Anachronist.
I am not sure if I saw Ellen on. I do not see Ellen on, so I guess it continues to be the Me Publications show. 1 second. Somehow I had every single publications report open except for that one. Here it is. All right, this is the report of Ellen Rawson, known in society as Ariel of Lindisfarne. And if Adobe would let me scroll. All right, manuscript status. On the Swords of Vikings is the next issue, CA211. It is in the editing process and will be sent to Shava very soon for layout. Once again, I apologize for being an issue behind. There truly wasn't anything to publish. Various writers are working on manuscripts and some are almost ready, but there wasn't anything ready. Then Stephen Blowney, who'd previously written CA201, Viking Arms and Armor, sent me a manuscript called On the Swords of Vikings. Fortunately, I was able to get it peer-reviewed faster than usual. The reviewer, Jörgen Oman, was going to be very busy since he was getting to travel from northern Sweden to the southern part of that country for a long SCA event, Double Wars. But with help from Riyad Chmielewski, you're messing with me here with all the different language names, he was able to dictate his comments as they drove. I only received copy edits recently. I'm still going through them and reformatting the bibliography and endnotes. We've also been trying to find higher resolution versions of some copyright-free images the authors wish to use. However, it is in hand. So another thrilling report over here from the editor from Complete Anachronist. I love the Complete Anachronist, and these guys are working on the go. We also have a partial draft of Ottoman Cuisine, a partial draft of a CA on beekeeping, and an almost completed manuscript on sumptuary laws. So again, Complete Anachronist is always gratefully accepting manuscripts. And for On the Swords of Vikings, whether you have a Viking persona, are a blacksmith, or are just interested in swords, maybe some of you are, this Complete Anachronist is for you. That is the report.
By consensus and without objection, the report from the Complete Anachronist is accepted. The Society Chronicler.
All right, this is the report of Crystal Smith, known in society as Mistress Cecilia Blythe, OP. Always very short and sweet. Latest Black Fox winners almost ready to be announced. Almost time to start sending in nominations for Anna Societatis 60. Publishable summary, no problems to report. Known world summary, none. There's nothing. It's just going on. That concludes the Louise show, I believe, because Travis is here.
By consensus and without objection, the report from the Society Chronicler is accepted. 6C5, the Society Archivist. Travis is present.
Well, glad to be here to save Louise some breath there. Just to go over my report, we're just requesting the renewal of the warrants for myself and my deputy. Thank you for being able to go over that. And then just for the general status report, the SCA archive continues to be in tip-top status. We continue to review new materials, both digitally and physically, for cataloging. We're looking in ways to digitize them to share the archive with our members and researchers easier. Of course, one of our best things that we can report to say is that nothing has really changed and the archive continues to be stable, which is kind of our best thing there. Nothing's decaying. We haven't been invaded by moths or anything like that. We appreciate the Board of Directors' willingness and the other officers for their support, and the populace of the SCA for their continued willingness to help us answer the questions not found in the archives about the Society's history. And that serves as my report and publishable summary. Thank you once again for your support of the archive.
Are there any questions for the Society Archivist? Seeing none, by consensus and without objection, the report of the archivist is gratefully accepted. Thank you. Item 6D, Society Treasurer. Carolyn.
Sorry, I've been working on spreadsheets, so I needed to find where my Zoom window was. Let me pull up my report out of all of the documents I have got open right now. Okay, this is the report of the Society Treasurer for the July board meeting. Accommodations are scrolling on the screen. I have no requested board actions or policy interpretations or changes this year, and no new policies. Regarding item 1 under my agenda, the investment account, the updated report for the investment account as of the end of June is included in the report, and that included not only an overall investment picture, but a breakdown of our holdings, which have not changed in quite some time, mostly because they're working for us. Our balance as of June 30th is $1.4 million, which is up from the $1.3 million it was at the beginning of the year. And we were able to move $50,000 over to the account in June after having to remove $60,000 in January to pay our insurance premiums. And we might need to take some money out again to pay the insurance bill sometime later, but we'll see how the account balances run. Our year-to-date budget versus actual summary, we are actually doing a little bit better than we had projected at the beginning of the year for the budget. As of the end of May, because I only recently received the June reporting and I have not had a chance to update it, our projected deficit was supposed to be around $3,700. Instead, we're running a profit of around $25,000. So that's not significant, but it's better than being in the hole, which is where I thought we would be at this point in the year. Our membership status right now, we currently have, let me find where that report is. We currently have, as of the end of June, 23,422 members spread across the North American kingdoms. Those numbers do not include most of our international members, although we do have 4 members from Lockhart. So thank you very much, I guess, for being a member of the SCA US as well. That does include our Canadian and also some of our Drachenwald members. We have currently 44 paid members from Drachenwald as well. So 23,400 is a little bit up, but it's been fluctuating by about 100 members up and down all year and for probably a couple of years now. Let's see. Kingdom financials, most of the kingdoms have reported. I am still waiting for one kingdom to get themselves in balance, which we discussed yesterday, but everybody else is in balance. And once I have my final kingdom, I can send everything off to the auditors. I have been sending things off to the CPAs as they come in and become available so that we can get our subsidiary returns done at any rate. The balance sheet and profit and loss statements for the year have been submitted to the board, and I don't believe you guys had any questions yesterday regarding those, although there was some questions from Carl. Thank you very much, Carl, for actually looking at the reports I send, because sometimes I wonder if anybody does, regarding some of the variances from the budget, and we were able to resolve those. The audit cost overruns, which is item 7, those have been calculated and submitted to the board. I believe the board approved those allocations yesterday, and the kingdoms that are affected by that will be contacted this week in order to send out the invoices for that. We were over budget on the audit again by roughly $20,000, and per prior board action last year, 75% of that cost is being allocated out to the kingdoms who caused the delay, which caused our overrun. Publishable summary, financially, we seem to be mostly on track for the year regarding the corporate income and expenses, and we have been able to file most of the subsidiary returns already. Progress is being made on resolving the last kingdom that are included on our main Form 990 filing, so I can get that over the CPAs and the audit can proceed on time. There have been a few delays on that. I'm hoping we can get those resolved before the end of July. I do not have any travel plans until just before the third quarter meeting, as I will be in Italy in the first 2 weeks of October, but I will be attending the Sacramento board meeting since it's so close to me anyway, and that's the weekend after I get back. I will be attending Costume College here in Los Angeles, which unfortunately conflicts with Penzic, so I will not be attending Penzic. And that concludes my report to the board, unless you have any other questions.
Seeing no questions, the report of the Society Treasurer, by consensus and without objection, is gratefully accepted. Item 6D8, the Society Exchequer.
Good afternoon, everyone. My report for the quarter, the second quarter of 2026, requested board actions. I request that the board review and approve the proposed Middle Kingdom financial policy, which I had previously sent. The Middle Kingdom had brought their policy up to date with the current society policy, and I would ask that that be approved.
Kate?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the Kingdom of the Mid-Realms updated financial policy as presented by the Society Exchequer.
It's a motion from Kate and a second by Krista. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, votes in favor. Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. That motion carries.
Likewise, the Kingdom of Glen Aubin has updated their financial policy since this society policy has been updated, and I would ask that the Glen Aubin financial policy also be approved as submitted.
Kate?
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the updated financial policy for the Kingdom of Glen Aubin as presented by the Society Exchequer.
A motion by Kate and a second by Megan. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, votes in favor. Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. That motion carries.
1C, last year, the Barony of Bryn Guled proposed an experiment using a financial platform called Zephy for donations to be made online directly to the barony. That experiment was approved by the board and it ran continuously for 1 year. We received a final report from Brett Chandler Finch, who was the person in charge of that experiment that ran from July 25 to June 26. The bottom line was that it was successful. They were able to process a total of over $7,000 of gross revenue without fees associated with other online financial platforms. They considered it a success, and I was happy to do that. So I'm just presenting that to you in summary as that experiment has concluded. There is additional requests, but we will discuss those at a further time and in a different meeting so that they can be gone over explicitly. So just asking that you accept the report from Brett Chandler Finch.
By consensus and without objection, the report from Brett Chandler Finch is accepted.
Thank you. And then we also have the report from the NMR, our non-member registration fee deputy for the society. And I had that open and it has, oh, there it is. We, in 2026, we have a new NMR deputy, Mackenzie Lechtenberg. She sends the following report. Unto the esteemed directors of the society, I send greetings. Here's my report to the board of directors regarding the NMR for the first quarter of 2026. So I'm just going to go through the general status report. We have reached 100% reporting for the years 2023, 2024, 2025, and up to our current time, 2026. All Canadian events have been converted to US dollars at the time of money submission, and all reportable Drakenwald events were held in exempt areas. There are money amounts, publishable summary. The 2023 events, the NMR totaled $137,645. There were 975 events reported. For 2024, there were 1,007 events reported, with a total of $200,014,172 in NMR fees. And in 2025, a total of 1,015 events reported across society for a total of $200,032 and $233. And that concludes the publishable summary for the NMR deputy. I would ask that it is accepted.
By consensus and without objection, the report of the NMR deputy is accepted.
I have no policy interpretations at this time. We had no new policies in total. However, there were revisions to the society financial policy as approved during the June conference call. The first one was language in the society financial policy regarding complimentary passes for disability service providers only. Non-members who are disability service providers may not be charged any registration fee or an NMR fee. And the second change was just a wording change to clarify that 48 business hours means 2 business days. My commendations were scrolling and basically were just to all of the exchequers that exist within society, because without you, we cannot play. There are no current variances granted, and my publishable summary is that the NMR activity and reporting continue to be smooth and efficient with our new Society NMR deputy. We are almost finished with our 2025 reporting cycle. Exchequers at all levels should remember that to follow reporting requirements, quarterly reports must be submitted by the deadline set by either the society or the kingdom if they are more stringent. We do understand that there have been many changes over the past year and appreciate the hard work that the exchequers at all levels have put in by adjusting to those changes in report format and policy. And we will have a Society Exchequer Roundtable at Pennsic War. The date and time to be announced, I did publish that and send those out to all of the exchequers for whom I had email addresses. It is also listed on Thing 2.0. I forget when it is exactly right now. That is my current travel plans, is to Pennsic, also to the board meeting in October in Sacramento, and possibly a trip to the West Coast for business. And that concludes my report.
Are there any questions for the Society Exchequer? Seeing none, the report is by consensus and without objection is gratefully accepted. Thank you. Item 6E, the Society Herald. Uni.
Thank you. So, first of all, as always, there are several changes to the heraldic rule set. Again, mostly small and incremental. But to start with that, Section A, requested board actions. There is a change in the administrative handbook on how we handle personally identifiable information, specifically the full legal name of the submitter in the submissions process. The complete legal society name of a person must be different, but on the other hand, elements from the legal name can be used as part of the society name, and in such cases, documentation must be provided. However, current legal and ethical consensus is that personally identifiable information should be visible only to the people who absolutely need to see it. So the current change clarifies that the members of the College of Arms should only see the elements that are relevant to the submission. For instance, that the submitted given name is the person's legal given name. And anything beyond that, for instance, the full legal name in such cases where there is concern that it is too close to the submitted name as a whole, should be limited to only the half a dozen people who make and record the decisions at kingdom and society level. So, and the current change includes brief examples and guidelines on how to accomplish this. So the full text is in the appendix of my report. I don't think it would be useful to read it aloud here.
Okay.
Chair, I move that we approve the updated changes to the Herald Administrative Handbook as presented by the Society Herald.
That is a motion from Kate and a second from Keith. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you. Then going to section B, policy interpretations. Subsection 1 is updates to SINA, the standards for evaluation of names and armory. There are 12 of these in total. Item 1 clarifies that for purposes of conflict, regalia is treated as badges. So for instance, the white belt is protected not only when it is worn as a piece of clothing, but also when used as a badge. Items 2 through 5 and 9 through 11 modify our armory style rules to be better in line with how augmentations and such things were used in period, and also in general to match our increasing knowledge. Item 6 limits our protection of important non-SCA people to their well-known names. So for instance, in cases where an author's pen name is well known, but their legal name is not. Items 7 and 8 update our name rules to better match our increasing knowledge. And finally, item 12 updates and clarifies our list of conflict checking resources to better match recent decisions.
Kate?
Chair, I move we uphold the updates to Sienna as presented by the Laurel Queen of Arms.
It's a motion from Kate and a second by Krista. Is there any discussion on the motion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
So, thank you. Subsection 2, changes to the glossary of terms. There are 4 of these. Item 1 clarifies that while the insignia of the orders of defense and mark are composite, they are treated as single charges with regard to our style rules. Item 2 adds default colorings for some charges. This is done routinely as new ones are registered. Items 3 and 4 clarify some of our existing defaults in other manners.
8.
Mr. Chair, I move that we uphold the changes to the glossary of terms as presented by the Laurel Queen of Arms.
It's a motion from Kate and a second by Krista. Is there any discussion on the motion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you. Going to subsection 3, changes to the administrative handbook appendixes. There are updated links on the list of known sources for which we do not require photocopies. Again, this is routine maintenance of our guidelines.
8.
Mr. Chair, I move we uphold the changes to the Herald's Administrative Handbook appendices as presented by the Society Herald.
It's a motion from Kate and a second from Krista. Any discussion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you. Subsection 4 changes to the list of alternate titles, there are none at this time. But for a bonus section 5, there was an issue recently where an unfortunately worded royal proclamation gave rise to concern that members of all peerage orders might not be treated equally. So jointly with the Society Seneschal, we interpreted our current rules and traditions in a way we feel will prevent the creation of a new chivalry type split in another peerage, or the creation of a super peerage, except of course by proper board action. Stacey mentioned this at her report already, and the text is included, at least in mine. So this was essentially a storm in a teacup that gave an opportunity to clarify some things.
Okay.
I'm trying to be like, how do I word this motion?
May I interject?
Oh, Leslie.
It seems to me that this falls under the designation of a policy interpretation, if that helps you.
Thank you. I was like, Mr. Chair.
That's why I put it in this section of the report.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you, Uni. Mr. Chair, I move that we uphold this policy interpretation as presented by the Society Herald.
A motion from Kate and a second from Krista. Is there any discussion on the motion? Votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Yeah, thank you. This was perhaps slightly confusing because from the seneschal point of view, this didn't quite rise to the level of a policy interpretation, but from my point of view, it did. And it was interestingly in a place where our roles overlapped. So anyway, going forward, section C, new policies, there are none of these. Section D, commendations, there were already shown during the break. So going to section E, general status report. First, the mid-year known-world heraldic and scribal symposium will be held on August 22nd to 23rd in the Barony of Shattered Crystal in the Middle Kingdom. This will be a hybrid event with attendance possible either in person or online. Second, after the April board meeting, I started a discussion within the College of Arms on the suggestion to revise our name conflict rules to be more understandable for both heralds and non-heralds. The commenting period has ended and there has been rather a lot of discussion on various aspects of this suggestion. At this point, it's clear that while it is completely ahistorical to require that all names are unique, this is a requirement both in the corpora and also practically necessary for the society in various ways. The way we currently ensure this uniqueness does have its problems, and it may be possible to propose changes that would make our rules easier to understand while still keeping society names useful for things like authorization or precedence databases. From the point of view of the name registration process, this matter was considered by Pelican Queen of Arms at her decision meeting today. My own monthly meeting, which was focused on the impact on the society in general, is scheduled for next weekend, and I will get in touch with you after that on what we might feel are viable options, and for guidance on whether any such options should be considered more major than regular changes to SINA, and of course, if so, how to proceed with them. And thirdly, there is still a week and a half left to apply for my current position, but I am already confident that a capable successor can be warranted. I will get in touch about the specifics or the next steps later on after the deadline passes. So the next will be a publishable summary, but the general status report will work for that. So section G, known world summary, that boils down to there being no major crises, and also most kingdoms seeming to be doing fine. So getting to section H, travel, none are currently projected, and in fact, I currently cannot travel to the United States. And that concludes my report for this quarter. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the Society Herald? Seeing none, by consensus and without objection, the report from the Society Herald is gratefully accepted. Thank you, Uni. Item 6F, the Society Marshal. Melissa.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a busy several months. For new policies, thank you, Board, for approving the Thrown Weapons Handbook. I also want to note that the Rapier and Cut and Thrust handbooks, with changes resulting from the commentary period, were approved at the June meeting, and they will be effective on September 22nd. Give time people to incorporate those new rules. I did have one, I believe it's a policy interpretation. It might just be a statement. I will leave that up to your interpretation. For armored combat, the Rattan Handbook, Rule 12.6c, a gauntlet of heavy padding. The current rules state that an ice hockey glove is considered to be heavy padding, but that street hockey gloves are not the equivalent. However, there was a question about kendo and lacrosse gloves. So the interpretation from the armored combat deputy was that kendo gloves do not meet the standard of a gauntlet of heavy padding. Lacrosse gloves are on a case-by-case basis. But while they are a cost-efficient option, we do not encourage the use of blatantly modern equipment and highly recommend gauntlets. My commendations have been scrolling on the screen, but I would like to highlight, I thought it was a policy interpretation. So that would need to be upheld.
Correct. Keith?
Director Foster, I move that we uphold the policy interpretation regarding kendo gloves and lacrosse gloves made by the Society Marshal.
So a motion from Keith and a second by Kate. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, votes in favor. Any opposed? 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you. The accommodations have been scrolling during the breaks, but I in particular would like to, who has been the deputy for Siege for many, many, many years. I don't think anyone knows quite how long, but it's been a long time. We have a fabulous new deputy. And also, I really wanted to thank Erin Potter-Tian, our who's here today. She took on bringing the Society Injury and Incident Reporting Form to life, which will be beta testing at Penzic, and we are forever grateful for her assistance in getting that launched. General status. We have many new Kingdom War marshals and deputies coming on board. My thanks to the new officers dedicating their time and bringing expertise to the marshalate. Work progresses steadily on the new handbooks. We now have 3 approved this quarter. 1 is about to go out for commentary, and there have been minor updates to the global sections. We thank everyone who has taken the time to read through the handbooks and provide commentary. Experimental programs focused on specific expanding with noticeable cross-discipline involvement. And this is also the 1-year anniversary for the Order of the Mark. And there are now premieres in every kingdom. So we are very excited about that. Some marshal changes. East Kingdom, Samson stepped up as Kingdom War Marshal. In Avical, Ivar the Black. And in Interior, Baron Frederick McFarlane, they all stepped up as Kingdom War Marshals. Our new deputy for Siege is Shawnigan Chibi. And our deputy for Combat Archery is stepping down September 1st. And his successor will be Samuel Peter Bump, also known as Speed Bump. Let's see. The things that's new. The Equestrian Handbook will be out for commentary, hopefully next week. We had 3 other handbooks to get out the door. And Equestrian Thrown Weapons and Archery have combined, and there's a new activity under the Equestrian Mounted to Ground program, which includes padded arrows, which are shot by the riders, and jereeds, which are padded javelins, thrown by the ground people. This has been proven to be a fun and easy entry activity for both riders and ground people. Around the kingdoms, Adenvelt is holding Aden University, which includes all their processes and other topics. Hooray for that. They also completed their 2026 martial training the Mid-Realm completed an overhaul of their training program and an overhaul of all of their Kingdom Marshal forms. A lot of work. Thanks out to the Mid-Realm for getting those updated. North Shield continues to modernize their marshalette structure and communication system. And they actually had a recent upgrade, which enables the marshals to distribute information to their field marshals much more quickly. And Outland successfully hosted their first Harness Fectin deed at Battlemore, where 5 Venons and 4 Tenons took the field in a very historically accurate period list and encampment. It was very, very neat to watch. An update on the social martial project #1, the rules modernization project. Armored combat, rapier, cut and thrust, and thrown weapons are all now complete. Target archery and equestrian are in progress. Siege is about to start. The new deputy is jumping into that with both feet. And all of these are moving to the SCA server. That's in progress. The testing of the new architecture was planned for this month. So hopefully that will get moved over to the new server soon. Our second major project, our injury incident online reporting system. This is a global and automated online accident and incident report form that will be hosted on SCA servers and utilizing Microsoft Forms. It will standardize all our information collected. It will send emails to the appropriate kingdoms and deputies. No formal medical records are to be requested, gathered, or stored as part of this process. William Eppingham, our Society Deputy for Armored Combat, has been leading this effort. So my thanks to him for really pushing this. The beta test is scheduled for Pennsic. We met with all the Kingdom Air Marshals last week to walk them through the form, get some last minute input, and get that updated. Erin was amazing. She made all those updates live so we could look at them in real time. So we will be beta testing this at Pennsic. Per discipline, a few highlights. In Armored Combat Rattan, there are lots of good conversations happening about low-end calibration standards. Those are popping up. In combat archery, an older and not legal Balder blunt was found during inspection and removed, a reminder of the importance of armor and weapon inspections. Thank you for all the marshals doing that. The equestrian community has been very good about adopting the new insurance process. They've been very essential in sharing information and coordinating resources across their kingdom and with their seneschals. A significant focus this quarter has been the ongoing revision to the equestrian handbook. And I want to give a special shout out to Tanek of Atlantia for his many hours of diligent work invested in reviewing and updating and refining the handbook. As I mentioned, the rapier, cut and thrust handbooks were approved. I want to mention we received over 500 specific suggestions, questions, or potential errors found. And let everyone know that we discussed and debated each and every one of them, which is why it took us a little longer to get this out the door. But thank you, everyone. I feel we have a much better handbook and product after all of your input. I just want to remind people the Known World Armored Combat Collegium, hosted by North Shield, is coming up September 5th and 6th. And also, there's currently a request for commentary out about a proposed option on integral head. Turned maces as the proposed rule change and commentary instructions are on the Society for Creative Anachronism announcements. And I unfortunately will not be able to and Pennsic, our new combat archery deputy, and our siege deputy will all be there. So please go talk to them and ask them any questions. And that concludes my report.
Are there any questions for the Society Marshal? Seeing none, by consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Marshal is gratefully accepted. Thank you. Item 6G, the Society Minister of Arts and Sciences. Catherine.
So This is my second quarter report, and I want to point everyone's attention to the rolling and then later on the published commendations showing how vibrant and healthy the state of the arts community is. The artists are creating a variety of projects. For the second quarter, the Kingdom Ministers of Arts and Sciences reported a variety of activities as artists and administrators prepared to enter the traditionally busy ANS seasons. An interesting point is how many of the reports usually contain several common threads. First, many kingdoms are updating their websites for clarity and for better interactive experiences for the artisans and non-artisans alike. Second, there is an ongoing process of updating judging rubrics and sheets in several kingdoms. And besides updating the sheets, some kingdoms recently implemented the use of QR codes for the sheets to cut down on printing costs to great success. And it might be something we will look into in the future for other kingdoms just to help out with being able to have all the sheets and not have to go and print everything all the time. Yay, save trees. Lastly, the ministers reported the difficulty of filling local offices. To address this issue, some created some innovative ideas to address the issues that are emblematic with great distances and honestly, just apathy. Kingdom ministers are striving to reach out to local ministers in a variety of communication styles, including email, which is at this point traditional, to have virtual meetings. And one kingdom is doing weekly highlights of various artists. They're hoping that that helps to inspire more participation at both the art and at the administration side of the arts. And of course, there's a movement to develop an AI policy. Well, as of today, there's now a new policy out there. But before this, I didn't have that. So on the quarterly report form, I asked all the ANS officers, the kingdom officers, for the best time for us to meet online. And we'd still have to determine that. I'm still dealing with time zones and days, but we'll get that. However, now that we have this new policy, I anticipate that people will feel it important that my office hear their points of view while I'm attending PENZIC. I leave Thursday. As of yesterday afternoon, unbeknownst to all the rest of this, I'd already secured a location for a meeting space. So I will advertise that when I get the time, because I'm working with Val right now to get a time that he can be there too. So we'll be advertising in the thing 2.0, which is the PENZIC scheduling. And I'll start advertising in social media online. And finally, I am pleased to announce that there are 2 forthcoming Known World Performing Centric events happening in 2027. For a long while now, I've been working with the Barony of Skraeling Althing. Please, I'm sorry if I missed that up. In the Kingdom of Eldamere, which is mundanely Ottawa, Ontario in Canada. It's the weekend of July 8 to 11. And they will be hosting the 30th anniversary of the Known World Music and Dance Symposium. Their website is being vetted right now, and the registration should open September 1 of 26. And the other one that just cropped up very recently is the weekend of May 28 to 31, which is in the US Memorial Day weekend of 27. The Barony March of Debatable Lands in the Kingdom of Ethelmark, which is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the US, will host a Known World Commedia Symposium. More information on that as we continue. But these are coming up in 26. I am open for questions.
Looks like we're good. By consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Minister of Arts and Sciences is gratefully accepted. Thank you. That completes the reports. And we are ready for the executive session.
Mr. Chairman, here are your minutes from your executive session. The session was opened on Saturday, July 18th, 2026 at 1:51 Central Time and recessed at 4:32 p.m. Central Time. Society Seneschal confidential updates. The report of the Society Seneschal was accepted as presented. Robert J. Jacobson, motion by Megan O'Shea to revoke the membership of and deny participation to Robert Jacobson based on violations of corporate policy 2D1 effective immediately. Second by Krista Capps. Work group for the evolution of newsletters report. The report of the Vice President for Corporate Office. Sorry. Am I back on? I understand I froze.
Oh.
Okay. The report of the Vice President for Corporate Operations, along with the Society Seneschal, was accepted as presented by consensus. This matter is remanded to the August conference call. Kingdom Financial Reporting, the report. Motion, excuse me, by
Hey, Leslie?
Carl Chipman to approve reasonable travel costs for the Society Seneschal. Review of the Kingdom.
Hey, Leslie?
Second by Krista Capps. Yes.
Your connection's
read it?
is going in and out. Why don't you try turning your camera off, see if that frees up some bandwidth
Okay.
for you. Okay.
I'd love to turn my camera off.
We
Is that
probably
better?
need- We probably need to go back though, right, Jonathan?
How far
Yeah.
do you need to go back?
You might just want to restart.
The whole thing. Thanks. Thanks, Carl.
Sorry, you were cutting out
That's
after like
okay.
after the first I think revocation you cut out. So
Okay, we'll
Yep.
start here. The Society Seneschal confidential update. The report of the Society Seneschal was accepted as presented. Robert Jacobson. Motion by Megan O'Shea to revoke the membership of. Of Corporate Policy 2D1, effective immediately. Second by Krista Capps. Opposed, none. Motion carried. Legal updates. The report of in-house counsel was accepted as presented. Work for the evolution of newsletters report. The report of the Vice President for Corporate Operations in conjunction with the Society Seneschal and by consensus, this matter is remanded to the August conference call. Kingdom Financial Reporting. The report of the corporate treasurer was accepted as presented. Motion made. Motion by Carl Chipman to approve reasonable travel costs for the Society Exchequer to visit on tier for a review of the Kingdom accounting records. Second by Krista Capps. Opposed, none. Motion carried. January 25th, actionable consent. All actions for the subsidiaries of the Society for Creative Anachronism are accepted by consensus. Director resignations by consensus, no action was taken. Director appointments. Motion by Krista Capps to appoint Jason Roach to seat A of the Board of Directors for the Society for Creative Anachronism for the standard 3-year term and subject to the standard probation quarterly meeting. Opposed. As his option to vote and did so in favor of the motion carried. By consensus, no or no changes to the ombudsman assignments this quarters. Warrant extensions. The upcoming warrant extensions chronic quivers and quarrels. Canada Working Group. Marshall Special. And Rust. Society Special Deputy Sanctions. Exchequer for Pensics. Amendment to the agenda. Motion by Kate Poor to amend the agenda to add item 7 director confirmation. Second by Krista Capps. In favor. Carl Chipman, Krista Capps, Megan O'Shea, Kate Poor, Joan Stoyer, owes none, abstain, Keith Howard, motion carried. Director confirmation. Motion by Krista Capps to confirm Director Keith Howard to seat F of the Board of Directors for the Society for Creative Anachronism for the remainder of the standard term. Yes, I will send one of you the mission. This is the last item. Hold on. This is the last item. Motion by Krista Capps to confirm Director Keith Howard to seat F of the Board of Directors for the Society for Creative Anachronism for the remainder of the standard term. Second by Joan Stoyer. In favor, Carl Chipman, Krista Capps, Megan O'Shea, Kate Poor, Joan Stoyer. Opposed, none. Abstained, Keith Howard. Chair Jonathan Foster exercised his option to vote and did so in favor of the motion. Motion carried.
Eben?
All right. And I'm going to ask if Leslie can send her report to somebody else to read, because B, H, I, J, and L need to be redone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Yep.
We agree.
Leslie, if you want to send it to me and we can do that brief break that we were talking about, or
Yeah, let's do that. So let's take a 10-minute break. We'll get the minutes sent over to Louise and we're going to recap this for everybody.
all right. Thanks everybody for your patience.
right.
The gremlins are in the machine, and thank you, Leslie.
Sorry.
Technology. No, technology. It's a thing.
Email Louise.
Yep. So we'll be back at 1:30. Carl is here and he's just finishing off camera. So, all right, we are going to try this one more time with feeling.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. We are now going to recap the exec session due to technical issues because of the heat and the gremlins in the machine. Let's go. Executive session was opened on Saturday, July 18th, 2026 at 1:51 p.m. Central Time and recessed at 4:32 p.m. Central Time. Item A, Society Seneschal Confidential Updates. The report of the Society Seneschal was accepted as presented. Item B, Robert Jacobson, motion by Megan O'Shea to revoke the membership of and deny participation to Robert Jacobson based on violations of corporate policy 2D1, effective immediately. Second by Krista Capps, opposed none, motion carried. Item C, legal updates. The report of in-house legal was accepted as presented. Item D, working group for the evolution of newsletters report. The report of the Vice President for Corporate Operations and Publication Manager was accepted as presented. By consensus, this matter is remanded to the August conference call. Item E, Kingdom Financial Reporting. The report of the Corporate Treasurer was accepted as presented. Motion by Carl Chipman to approve reasonable travel costs for the Society Exchequer to visit Ontier for a review of the Kingdom accounting records. Second by Krista Capps. Opposed, none. Motion carried. Item F, January 25th, 2026 subsidiaries. Nope, that's just subsidiaries, we'll call it. Action by verbal consent. All actions for the subsidiaries of the Society for Creative Anachronism, Inc. are accepted by consensus. Item G, Director resignations. By consensus, no action was taken. Item H, Director appointments. Motion by Krista Capps to appoint Jason Roach, Sir Baldrick Lehman of Newcastle Emlyn. Hope I said that right. Welcome, Jason. To seat A of the Board of Directors for the Society for Creative Anachronism for the standard 3-year term and subject to the standard probationary period, effective at the close of the October 2026 quarterly meeting. Second by Kate Poor. Opposed, none. Chair Jonathan Foster exercised his option to vote and did so in favor of the motion. Motion carried. Chair assignments and vice chair assignments. By consensus, no new action was taken on this matter. Should I read the ombudsman assignments? Did they change? I've never done this one before. No? Okay.
They didn't change.
Okay. Warrant expirations. Do I read these? I just won't do it then because nobody's telling me to.
I'm sorry, Louise.
Yes.
You can scan them, but you don't really have to read them. They've all been returned to their officers for work.
Okay,
for
we all know
appropriate
what's going
work.
on. And the minutes
Right.
will, of course, be updated on the usual timeline. Item M, amendment to the agenda. Motion by Kate Poor to amend the agenda to add item 7N, director confirmation. Second by Krista Capps. In favor, Carl Chipman, Krista Capps, Megan O'Shea, Kate Poor, Joan Stoyer. Opposed, none. Abstained, Keith Howard. Motion carried. Item N, director confirmation. Motion by Krista Capps to confirm Director Keith Howard to seat F of the Board of Directors for the Society for Creative Anachronism for the remainder of the standard term. Second by Joan Stoyer. In favor, everyone, including Chair Foster. Motion carried. That's the end of the encore of the Louise show. Thank you, Leslie. I hope I did all right by you.
Thank you so much, Louise. I'm sorry about the problems.
Okay. Normally at this point, we would take a break and review for Q&A. So I think we can probably skip the break since we just had one. Are there any submitted questions in the Q&A?
None new. All submitted questions have been answered so far in the course of the meeting. However, we are waiting for any additional submissions.
All right. So if you have a question, this is your opportunity.
Confirming there are no questions being added and that all questions have been answered over the course of the meeting.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for attending. We do love it when you guys come and ask us questions, so we appreciate it. In that case, that is the bottom of our agenda. Megan.
Mr. Chair, I believe that Director Poor would like to make an announcement about the party that's coming up at Pennsic. And then I think we'll have to have a motion.
Okay.
Yep. For those who were not at the beginning of the meeting and who are attending Pennsic, the board of directors is hosting a 60-year celebration Tuesday night of War Week. So that's August 4th. We are going to be at the fort, the Pennsic Fort, starting at 6 p.m. and the party's going to last till about midnight, or however, hopefully midnight, or earlier if people peter out before then. We're going to have performers and musicians to provide some entertainment. We will also have some medieval games. Coob and Hunkerhausen are two that are on the docket. The big thing that we're going to have is a Hot Ones challenge. It's a donation based challenge. And it's going to be tiered, so smaller amounts, the smaller dollar amounts are going to be for the not as hot ones, and the super hot ones are going to be a higher dollar amount. All donations will be going towards funding the new LMS that we're all very excited about. You can challenge a director or more if you'd like to this Hot Ones challenge. And we're very excited. Well, some of us are very excited. I know I am. But come and celebrate and meet some of us in person. We would love to see all your amazing faces, and looking forward to seeing everybody. And Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion.
Please do.
Mr. Chair, I move that we end the second quarterly meeting of the SCA Board of Directors at 2:40 Mountain Standard Time, also known as Outlands and Artemisia time.
Some motion from Kate and a second from Keith. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Before you accept that discussion, there was a late question about the conference call. Is it on 8/24 or on 8/17?
Louise.
I believe it was August 24th is when we will be having the August conference call. Thank you.
Thank you. I return it to our chairman. Apologies.
Okay. One more time. Any commentary on the motion? Seeing none, votes in favor? Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed, and this meeting is adjourned.